2020 was a year where we were talking a lot about economic transformation as the beginning of a decade. And the pandemic was an event that accelerated that across the core sectors of our economy. There are several industries that actually did quite well during this, both for reasons because of the pandemic and also because of their an acceleration in the transformation that was going on from a broader global level. So obviously healthcare was a sector that was extremely challenged last year from a delivery standpoint, but the science behind it was accelerated greatly. And we saw things like gene and cell therapeutics, the announcements of projects like Andelin Biosciences, Forge Biologics, Sarepta continue in our region. And then a lot of momentum out of the OSU Wexner Medical Center and Nationwide Children's Hospital with some of the startups that they're backing. Likewise, we continue to see growth in health services with companies like Quantum Health and UpDocs and Prior Auth Now. We're doing great things and delivering services in different ways, sort of behind the scenes on the back door of the industry. And we're very fortunate in the Columbus region to have some of those industries present and those companies growing in our region, so creating thousands of jobs. An additional sector is obviously the whole world accelerated e-commerce last year. And a lot of attention gets paid to the shift from Main Street or mall retail to e-commerce. That certainly happened, where we're buying through clicking instead of walking up and down the street. Unfortunately, that has a devastating impact on our small businesses and our merchants locally, but it does provide a big opportunity for companies that are able to pivot and deliver and sell from an e-commerce platform out of their facilities, whether they be storefront logistics or major million square foot logistics operations that we have at Rickenbacker and Etna, Jefferson Township, and others that we have in our other areas that we have in our region. We see that shift accelerating, and other national partners, national companies coming to the Columbus region to execute that, not just because of our know-how, but our geographic location across North America. If you're going to pick one spot to do e-commerce, the Columbus, Ohio market is an incredibly good one because of the people we have here and the physical location we have. And then third, I'll point to a couple of other industries that I think are really have accelerated quite quickly. Again, finance and insurance are a big industry here with some incredibly large operators, Huntington Bank and JP Morgan Chase and others that create tens of thousands of jobs in our region. The insurance sector with Nationwide Insurance and State Auto and Grange and Cova and all these great companies that we have. But we saw incredible growth in fintech and insurtech. And these are areas we've been investing in and fostering for a long time. The biggest example of this is obviously Roots IPO, the largest in Ohio's history, a company that came out of our soil and is now one of the big success stories in insurtech and is poised to create thousands of jobs in our region. You've seen companies like Olive continue to also get venture capital. I failed to mention that in the healthcare sector as another bright shining star when it comes to that. And then Branch and others that have come to our region that to execute fintech and insurtech. Drive Capital, if you talk to them, or major VC here, will tout the Columbus, Ohio market as one of the major players in this and one of the best places in the world to start a fintech or insurtech company for all the reasons that I've just stated. And we continue to see growth and expect more in 2021.
What is the intellectual capital that Columbus brings to the table?
Well, it all starts with talent and at all levels. So when I look at the retail industry and e-commerce associated with that, We have incredible companies here that have been operating very successful at that for a long time. That talent continues to develop here. So if I'm a small company, first place I might look to operate is, I want to come to that market and maybe have the expertise of some of those executives that just know how to execute it and fund it and move forward. And then we obviously have the logistics know-how with DHL's North American headquarters here, and great 3PLs that we have in the market, and people that are actually executing the physical side of e-commerce. So that's drawing people. And then finally, it's really important to keep mentioning that we're a value. We have these incredible assets, but we're delivering that at a very low cost. Both the people that are executing that for you cost less than they do on the coastal cities of California, in Seattle and Boston and New York and Philadelphia. For really the same value, you might even be getting more people at a better cost.
Because the cost of living here is lower.
It's the cost of business. Your business taxes are lower. Perhaps those people are not only, maybe they're making less money, but they also have their possibility of home ownership and things like that is much higher at the same time. And so they're a little bit more stable, and they're probably not moving jobs. And so the retention rates go up, and there's a cost to all of that for business. And so we constantly talk about the talent in the market, the great access that we provide to not only markets, but people. And then finally, just again, continued focus on competitiveness and being a good value. So no business compromise and at a very reasonable cost.